Brand new limited release out of Woodford Reserve Distillery, and it's one I've been asking for as a consumer for a long time. Woodford Reserve Barrel Strength Rye. Let's get right into this one. How is everyone doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbinsane. We have got another limited release from Elizabeth McCall over at Woodford Reserve Distillery. And honestly, this is something that Brown-Forman has been putting out lately, but Woodford Reserve hasn't jumped on board until now. Woodford Reserve Barrel Strength Rye. Now, I like Woodford Reserve Rye. It's not one you think about typically when you get into rye whiskeys in general. Typically, Woodford's not the top of your brain on that. Bourbon, absolutely. Woodford's definitely one of the biggest bourbon distilleries in the world, no question. But for them to put out their rye at barrel strength, I'm very excited for it. No age is given on this at all, so we don't know age necessarily. Mash bill is though, so we do know it's a 53% rye. When I think about this, I immediately want to compare it to Old Forester rye in my head, the Old Forester barrel strength rye. That we do know is a 65% rye mash bill, so more rye, should be more pepperiness, all that compared to this one. This is just barely legal rye, the 53%. So I'm going to anticipate more of that Woodford Reserve profile, Woodford Reserve sweetness. We'll find out when we get into it. But a beautiful thing about this, 125.1 proof. We love that. We love the high proof. We love barrel strength expressions. So I couldn't be more excited for it. Let's give it a pour here. Beautiful dark color. I mean, beautiful dark color. This was a sample sent to me from Woodford Reserve, so very grateful for the sample, but of course, I'm going to be honest and transparent as usual. So, nice dark color. I mean, in the glass, it looks like either a pretty high age expression, which I doubt this is, or something pretty high proof. So, not a huge amount of legs on the glass. With barrel strength stuff, I tend to get more of those legs typically, but not a huge amount on this one, but we'll give her a fair shot here. Let's go into the nose. Oh man, immediate rye whiskey on the nose. A lot of pepperiness, a lot of citrus. Definitely orange peel, lemon peel. A little bit of that hay grassiness as well, which I'll either attribute to usually young whiskey or rye whiskey. Or young rye whiskey. Now this is barrel proof as well, barrel strength, so just might need a little time to open up here in the Glen. That's also a possibility. I would not know on initial nose that this is Woodford. I love to do this as a challenge to myself where on nose or palate I try to guess distillery. You may not like to watch that, but I love that in my head. It's just a challenge for me and better for me to train my palate. Would not know it's Woodford though. It definitely seems like a rye whiskey, no question, but distillery I would have no idea. It's just straight rye to me. Straight rye to begin with. So let's go into the palate here on this, though. There's that Brown-Forman. There it is. So it tastes like Woodford rye. Of course, Upton proof, more alcohol burn, more rye spice for sure mid-palate. A lot of that tingliness. A lot of pepperiness. A little bit of licorice, actually, I just got on there as well. Not a huge amount of creaminess. That creaminess on rye tends to come with aged rye for me. Don't know age on this. Probably 6 years is my guess. I imagine they're following the path of the Old Forester barrel strength rye, where it's probably about that 6-year age statement, which to me is a good age for rye. Let's give it another sip. Slight astringency on the back of the palate, which is where that tends to show up to me, at least with hyper-aged expressions that have turned or tend to be starting to turn. I get that astringency, bitter oak on the back of the palate. Slightly there, but rye itself can do that for me too. So a little bit of a drying sensation or dry feeling on the palate. Mouth coating's great though. Mouth coating on the sides of the cheeks, front of the palate, it's wonderful. So no complaints about that at all. This holds very true. Very true nose to palate. I mean, it really does. It's rye whiskey all the way for me. I'm not getting a huge amount of sweetness on this. it tends to lean more towards those pepperiness, like a very strong rye, it seems. Which, if I didn't know better, I'd say this was higher rye than the Old Forester rye, barrel strength rye, but it's not. Only a 53% instead. So I love it though. It is. I in recent years have become a rye whiskey fan. I have. Rye never used to be my thing. It used to always be bourbon first. And probably over the last 3-4 years, I've really tended to acclimate more towards Kentucky ryes. I enjoy the almost punch you get, the extra punch you get from rye. I have to be in the mood for it, of course, just like anything else. But ryes give you so much versatility because you can use it in a cocktail. Neat, of course, especially the barrel strength stuff. I love to drink neat. I mean, some ryes are just a little low proof for me, but let's go one more sip here. Now, that's a banana punch on that one. So that was that Brown-Forman Woodford Reserve profile. Chocolate-covered banana. Not a huge amount of sweetness, though, compared to their bourbon expression. They get a lot of sweetness typically. You still get the clove, baking spices, and then that rye spice mid-palate, for sure. Very good. Very good offering, and I appreciate what they're doing. I appreciate them giving me what I've been asking for. You know, a barrel-strength rye. I would prefer if this was a little bit older. So 2-3 years older would be great. I think it would just kind of round off those rough edges, make it a little bit more well-rounded, I guess. And this is a premium price point. So $129.99. It isn't the same price as like the Sweet Oak. So the Sweet Oak I think was $180. So you're going to get a much better value for this. And for me, the Old Forester Barrel Strength Rye is about $100 here in Michigan. Typically store picks I get with those, which of course I love store picks. They're a little bit different per which one you get. I'm not sure how available this is going to be. I think I'll probably see the barrel strength rye more often than I will this one. At this price though, I do probably like it better than the barrel strength rye. At least I've only had maybe 2 store picks of that. I think I like this more than that. Of course, it could be a recency bias because I'm just drinking this now and I haven't had a barrel strength rye bottle in probably about a year. But I feel like that one was a little bit grainier and a little more alcohol forward, probably because of the high rye, lower age, that type of stuff. This isn't super overproofed either to where it's going to just destroy you. I say that and it's 125.1, but for my palate, it's not like it's 140, 140 proof whiskey. It's not. So it still gives you that flavor profile of a rye. It lets you appreciate the notes and the intricacies of the whiskey itself. So if you are someone that enjoys rye, loves rye, and especially Woodford Reserve being your distillery, this is a pickup for you. All right, well, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't yet, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what is your favorite Woodford Reserve expression. I've had a lot of samples from them lately, and they're growing on me more and more and more. I love what they've been doing. I love the experimentation they've been doing, and I'm excited for what's coming in the future. So thank you so much for watching the review today. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Stay insane.